So what is different about this deck is that it's running cantrips, a mana that supposedly supports these cantrips, albeit with Mana Confluence, and Artist Talent. If you can get Artist Talent on the field, you can just churn through your deck, which means that this deck combos more so like a traditional Storm deck rather than like what Lotus Field was, which was just playing the Ultimatum and then winning afterwards. Here is just kind of skipping the big cards in order to play more cheap cards, so that is kind of nice. On top of that, Artist Talent has the level 2 ability, which while it's not too good in Phoenix, it's actually very relevant in this deck, making Hidden Strings and Pore over the pages 1 cheaper. Probably lets you combo off of a single Lotus Field on the battlefield rather easily. We are going to just deck. See how it goes. Only 2 dig through time, which is maybe a bit surprising, given how good Artist Talent is at fueling delve spells. You could even consider playing Cruise over dig through time. Of course, this is a combo deck, so choosing specific cards on its face sounds better. On the other hand, with Artist Talent you have so much filtering that maybe those two are close, and Cruise is cheaper and sees more cards. Can be cheaper. Of course, too many delve spells, not what you want alongside Lier. So, first, I don't have experience with this deck yet, so I will play with an unaltered list through a league. Can I keep on the back of a single Sleight of Hand? Sounds weak. So, like if they triple Thoughtseize you, you can't really bring anything to beat that, but try top decking a Treasure Cruise right after and you'll be in a great spot. That's my strat. So I keep this, I slide. If I don't find a Talent or Lotus, I don't do anything. Let's mulligan. This hand looks very much okay. Can cantrip a lot till I find something, so it looks much better than the previous one. Bot says that they last played Azorius Lotus Field, and it sure seems like that was the case. I probably value Lier more than Bala get recovery. Here. Blue-White Lotus Field typically doesn't run counter magic main deck. Okay, so let's impulse. That's very unfortunate then. Artist Talent is not so great when you're super stranded on resources. Yeah. Well, it's good at making you find your cruise, and holy shit, this is a double-edged sword in my deck. It's good at finding your cruise and then you have resources, right? That's the entire point, but of course it's better at finding the cruise if you have more cards to throw away. But like you would need to have more cards you want to top deck. Okay, let's take Slide to keep digging towards Lotus Field. Bringing in Annual. Annual sounds decent, but I guess it does have a downside. Let's take Dig now. But I guess maybe I've been also bringing in Annual, but maybe that's also a mistake indeed. Now that you say what you said. Teferi. Can bounce at Teferi. I don't think I will. Maybe I will. It's an extra card in my graveyard for dig too. Here, have a fish. He will have 7 to 8 discards possible. Now it's impossible to dodge the turn 1 discard. So that would make Anu awkward. Every time you enter my stream, you're facing Blue-Eyed Lotus. That's crazy, but also true. Whoops. I will not pay you. Did I see the Dimmer Ninja deck that won the challenge? I did, yeah. Looks not great, but maybe it's secretly great because Kaito is great. I don't fully understand what Kaito does, so... Did the deck run Mutavault? That's kinda neat. You have Mutavaults. That are ninjas, and you have an emblem that just pumps your Mutavaults forever. The Soaring enhanced Mutavaults used to be kind of hard to deal with at times. Control meta. 4 hacking horned lock whales. I just can't. How can you play a deck like that has so much of nothing in it? Do I think Mardu Greasefang is a playable pile of cards? It sure looks like it is. I'm not sure if it's worthwhile for that deck to be a Greasefang deck necessarily. Because I'm not sure if it's a great Greasefang deck, but it's surely a playable deck that has a lot of okay cards in it. Do I play Lier now? Can I play strings? I can play 2 opts. Consider. And opponent controls? Come on. Why aren't the Blue-Eyed Lotus Fields playing Discontinuity anymore? It's because there is one guy who plays this deck and then people net deck his stupid deck. And his deck is really stupid. If I play Lier, it's gonna die. Assuredly. Do a march. Or get lost. There's 6 removals. Mardu Grease is essentially a FOMO Fable deck, yeah. But like, you can play red-black midrange, play those 2. And then have your win con be Annex and the demons or whatnot, or Shouldred. I'm not sure if like I want to play a Lier. But cast the strings and then I started thinking, which is classic way not to play, but let's cast Sleet. Can I cast Pore after Lier now? If I take the strings, I'm pretty sure I can, so. Or with no interaction on the stack, it feels very soft to combo decks. I agree with you. It's a very stupid deck. It's built somewhat stupidly. It's a control deck that does not control. Can dig Lier strings dig. Yeah, but it seems like I would rather Pore. I see more cards. Kinda. I have 6 mana. It's Vizier to play on midrange. Well, I understand that, but it's a stupid deck. I guess with my graveyard I would rather spend my mana on digging than impulsing when I have to dig, so... Sure, Lier goes, and I Pore. So now I have talent. So I'll play talent. And I'll play dig through time. No, not spending free mana. Oh, I exile non-spells. Discard Boseiju. Talent again. O Jezus, ale się trafiło. Wish.com. Otawara. And I guess dig again. Troy strings. Discard second talent, I think. Draw fair talent. Find strings and Pore. Any order. Cast strings. Untap Lotus Fields. Discard talent. At this point I will go off. Untap. Pore. I sneak in. Maybe I should have snuck in the level up. I don't think I could have. Maybe I could have. Cycling, notably not casting a spell. Pour over the pages. So now I can level and I have 4 mana. Right, that's 7. And now I pour discard. Untap Lotus Fields. Discard. Pore. Discard. Let's chase the win con. Oracle. Wish.com gets Oracle. Eventually. Have Bala good, so Bala good should get me there. Can also Wish.com for Lier. First to make sure that I get to. I actually have Reservoir. I apologize for misinformationing you. And 2 Galvanic Iterations in my sideboard somehow. Or do they have March that kills my Lier? I think that's gonna be fine. Seems like they don't have it.
He's a phenomenal control player.
Talented combo player.
Indeed, talented. Because I'm playing a talent as a win condition, as an enabler. That's good. Reservoir costing 3 mana. "30 minutes of the clock, that seems like plenty." Alright. Then we'll have known veto for distortion ×1 Hull Breacher Horror. Let's bring in my... Well, disputes are kinda useless, it's a veto deck, so... Don't really do anything. Let's have a second Boseiju for the high noon. Flood Maw seems poor. And this to fight against veto. Maybe it's just under Otawara. It's kind of curious that I have those two in my sideboard. They have Narsets? No. The stock list doesn't. Dispute not worth it for Delusion Tefari? Why do I don't care about those. So no. Think an island. Probably Sleet. So we can wish for Sleet. Hello Mr. Streamer, how did you do in the Arena Open? It's curious that you ask because you watched me play in the Arena Open, so you should know how I went in the Arena Open, but unfortunately I only was capable of going 0-2 yesterday. I think I had a nice draft deck, or at least it looked pretty good to me. Was not unhappy, but one of my opponents decided to reanimate Valgabov on turn 5 of the game twice, which was not within the range of things it could beat. Can trim talent also, they have lots of removal for it. So them having lots of removal for talent, is it a reason to trim talent or is it a reason to play more of them? Because honestly, I would kind of play more if they have lots of removal, so they will run out of removal, so I can stick a talent and use it to win. Or at least that does sound like a viable strat. Would reconsider Dispute's viability in this matchup. Okay. How did Pauper go? I only had to play 4 rounds. I went 2-0 into 2-2 and then I dropped with a full peace of mind. Weird timing. They would reconsider Dispute's viability in this matchup. So it's like, could you... I can't, I don't have blue, of course. So you could just tell me what you think exactly, Rash, instead of beating around the bush. I did not bring in Dispute because their only counters traditionally in this deck are Dovin's Veto. If they don't cast Dovin's Veto, what do I care about? Countering Tefari? Sure, I could go this route. Doesn't sound super interesting. Can cast cantrips alongside the Scrying. Indeed. This into Scrying for Thespian stage looks pretty okay. Doesn't matter to play the Thespian stage this turn. If they have a sneaky removal, then I do not cast my Scrying, but I would guess they are deluging. Maybe Emperoring, which is also good. Sensoric, more a bit. We have like 8 targets. So like the question is, do we think it's better than a cantrip? And I am not so sure. Intuitively, kind of like a cantrip. more. I'll play the Boseiju because having mana is good. If they suddenly play a high noon, I'll be sad, but being sad is sometimes fine. Deluga. When is being sad fine? For example, when they play a high noon suddenly, and you play out your Boseiju, it's just fine. Okay, let's cast some cards. If I make it level 2. Okay, so I can have 3 mana. Can strings. Then I have 5 to play Pore exactly. I can also cast Consider instantly to discard maybe my Bala again. It's pretty expensive, but it's not a bad card. Making land drops would be nice. Hitting a Thespian stage would be nice. If I spend my Consider, I can't cast strings Pore anymore. In my experience, once you resolve a Pore over the pages, you're 97% to win, so let's cast it. Okay. I can Scrying for strings, Scrying for Lotus, play Lotus, strings, untap, have 6 mana. At which point my hand is talent, consider Sleight of Hand. But also Balagad for strings again. I have to discard a card though, so it is not that. At which point my hand is talent, consider, slide. Maybe discard talent then. At which point my hand is 2 Lotus Fields, Balagad. Yeah, let's ditch the talent. Blanks. Consider. Grab Pore, your turn. The Otawara play was a sign of weakness, so they will not have a Dovin's Veto for sure. Well, my cantrips yielded me cards that are not great. If I kept talent, I wouldn't be able to, well, to really do much either. Holy shit. On and subcasting. Memory Deluge. Looking at 9 deep this turn, so there is a chance they have found the veto. But there is also a chance they have not, so. Alright, with 5 minutes to go and my hand being blank, I'll move to game 2. Or rather 3. Let's bring in the disputes. As chatter suggested, It did seem like my opponent resolving Teferi this game was pretty instrumental to their victory. Let's get more slates. Those seem to be the main candidates. I'll keep my hand as it includes the card Lotus Field and also the card Pore over the pages. Those two when combined grant me a 97% win rate, so sounds good. Villain on a multi-5 already, so our biggest enemy right now might just be the clock. Therefore, I will not think about a single decision anymore. Plenty of time. I did say that. I do not actually think that though, I did kind of lie. The deuce. Thoughts on playing Vizier next turn? This sounds better. So next turn I copy Pore. Is a clue in play better than a test deuce in hand? Discuss. I hate that so spicy decks in Pioneer are unplayable on Mono due to the insane amount of clicks required. I don't think this deck is unplayable on Mono. Actually. Just have to be a bit faster. All just results. Oh, I'm iterating. Quad Pore is like 97% win rate, but to the power of 4. Which I would say it's likely to win. Grape shot. Not in my Pioneer format. Actually, it kind of is a grape shot. Reservoir is kind of a grape shot indeed. Just wish for the win. For the win. Holy shit! Thank you for letting me know how to win this game. Can I win in 3 minutes? Chat, let's find out if I can cast Aetherflux Reservoir and click on it in 3 minutes. Let's just find out. Dispute, yeah. True. Theoretic Veto, they didn't counter my first Pore? Did I start with copy Pore? Was that how I started the turn? Makes sense that they did that, I guess. Hey, I drew a wish. $51. Perfect. I even optimized the amount of spells cast to like not waste a single life point. Cool. This one should be better because you don't have 7 mana spells, you just have 5 mana spells. That's your most expensive. And iteration copying just sounds like a pretty decent plan. I keep this. I mean, I already kept this. And seems kind of bad, honestly, but turn 2 talent. The hell, Giganta? So let's say I go turn 3, level my talent. Then if I draw a Lotus Field, I probably win, right? Pores are free at that point. Because we'll see if I have this much time or if I'll die on turn 3, but... Oh, what if I draw a Scrying? It's kind of the same. I cannot cast a Pore next turn. Well, I guess I can. If I use strings as a pirating ritual. That requires me to... 12 damage. Alright, so next turn we die. Wish. Can I wish for a Lotus Field? Nope. What can I wish for? Anger of the Gods. I also start discarding if I do that. I can't cast the Anger. I can produce fewer red than that. Like in any... You can. If I play my Canal, I guess, and I have reds. 2 reds from strings, but I really want to avoid playing my Canal. So I think I would rather strings and Pore, and that's 5 looks for a Lotus Field. But I need an extra strings on top of that. If I cast an Anger, how likely am I to just die? To a haste creature plus pumps. They exiled a Kumano, they didn't cast Kumano. Didn't play 1-drop, played Manifold Mouse on turn 3 because it was good. They scry top, scry top. So if they scry top, what do they scry top? Like the fling of an extra monster. Clearly they did not have a show off on turn 2. Because they played a challenger. Swift Spear plus a +3 power combat trick doesn't actually kill me. Interesting. Anger. Do I discard Pore over the pages then? Probably. Probably then I cast strings and discard a Pore. Next turn I have Pore in hand. Ideally I draw Lotus Field before playing my Pore and then play Lotus Field Pore and then I have 4 mana after Pore. Kind of rough because I have to make a decision fast before I want to make it. If I strings and draw a Lotus Field, then play it and it's good. If I strings and don't draw a Lotus Field, I play Pore, then I play Lotus Field and I have 2 mana. So I need to have found a country pair or a strings again. So maybe Wish Anger is a good plan, and you can draw Lotus off the loot and go off. Yeah, I can play Wish first, discard this, and then I can find Lotus Field. Sounds like a lot needs to happen to cool. Yeah, there's not 97% for sure, so play this, strings my canals. Do I want to discard the Lier? Yeah, for sure. Do I want to discard the Vizier? My anger? Probably. It's like it's not Lotus Field, it's gonna be good once I draw Lotus Field, but once I draw Lotus Field, nothing else matters. Maybe I should discard a Pore instead, because I probably will not need 2 Pores. And if I need to cast a Pore next turn, then I want to have the Vizier to untap my Lotus Field to get an extra mana. Here it goes. Alright, if I don't die, I should be fine for the next turn. This plus Monstrous Rage kills me, unfortunately, so... I have gotten there if I just... strings and Pore. Draw 3 extras, I will draw this, then I play this, Vizier this. Still need something else. Okay. Oops, Spring Interaction. I think I want to just have it here instead of having to wish for it. Lier is gonna be my wish.com target. I could board out a wish maybe. I think for the most part it shouldn't be an issue. Maybe they will board out wish, put in reservoir. That seems worse. That sounds way worse. So remove slides. Sounds better to you. Why is it worse? Because wish can get wish can get Lier if I need it to combo, to keep comboing. Keep. Kind of rough to deploy Otawara. But if I draw Spirebluff. But I'm happy to have a wish in this hand, and I would have having reservoir. Ancestral Anger. One lander? Or will you play land into monster? No, one lander, XD. Could play Thespian stage and level. That does not seem better than playing a Lotus Field, which would let me just cast a Pore. No, it will not let me cast a Pore next turn, because I hadn't leveled. Could consider finding a removal spell or a bounce spell is also good to have. So I'll just cast it on the heroes, they don't have the pressure. I could... No, I can level. Lotus Field it is. Leveling is 3 mana. Can wish for a Sleight of Hand next turn. Hey Kaniki, hope you're pogging today. For sure I am. If they make a land drop, they scry top, so if they make a land drop and they cast a fling, I guess I'll die, right? They played a Blicey pathway, so that's good though. That is not a problem. We have Bala, we have Lier. Discarding Wish doesn't do anything. Well, should I have kept one bounce spell in my sideboard? I don't necessarily die to this next turn. I do die if they have Fling, but I didn't have the Fling because they would have used it to kill me. I can Wish, discard a land. That way, I can draw a bounce spell to bounce this, or I could just copy the stage. Might have another discard. Might indeed have another discard. I'll copy this Lotus Field and double strike. That is 8 damage, so I live. So in that case we win. Unless they make a land drop and kill me, but it doesn't seem like they're doing that. I can level the talent. Maybe leveling is kind of adventurous, but with Wish, it's kind of almost free to do already. Not quite. Can Wish for Wish to cast 2 sideboard cards. Crazy. And anyways, I think I Wish and I see what I loot. Okay, easy. Also sideboard is large. Okay, now we have a sideboard in our hand. Wish for Impulse was pretty good too. I would see 6 cards from that alone, and I could also find a Pore, I think. Maybe I wouldn't be able to find a Pore. 6 mana, so 6 mana find a Pore. That would be short. So not having a bounce spell underneath my Wish was pretty awkward, but again, I have 1 Wish in my deck to begin with, so I think the bounce spells are better suited to be utilized in my main deck, as I want to draw them to stop my opponent's combo ethic attempts. Pore plus Vizier, sure. This hand has no removal. Was the Yeren Phoenix a serious deck? No. I never had the mana to grab Yorion anyways. So this plays a turn 2 talent after turn 1 country ping. This does seem not great. Oh, I'll keep this. Top land. Double Vizier always neat when it comes to winning a turn earlier than you were supposed to. Slick shot. Oh no. Death is coming, chat. I wonder they realized what are they bringing to Pioneer when they reprinted Sylvan Scrying in Battle for Zendikar 8 years ago. The entire subgenre of Lotus Field combo storm decks that wouldn't have existed otherwise. Okay, we die to Fling. There's no Fling. That said, presume I have to cycle it. Holy shit, my hand is bad. Where is this now? Sure. Missing the artist talent on the battlefield. Which wouldn't even do anything because Vizier is not casting a spell, so I just flooded horribly. Happens. If I could magically replace 4 of my lands with just some spells, would have been fine, right? Let's say I put the bounce spell somewhere in there over the Thespian stage, and then a dig for time over the Mana Confluence. That sounds good. Would it make sense to go Trespass? So the reason why the iterations are here is to beat counter magic. You just copy Pore and then it's just better than like protecting with a dispute or whatnot, because, well, if it works fast you get 2 Pores, which grants you a infinite win rate. 2 extra turns maybe wins the game through iteration, sure, but yeah, like, it's true, that would win the game. Likely. I guess not really, like the extra turns in a deck that it's just mana, right? You don't even use the combat steps, so extra turns are not even that good in this deck. So it's worse than copying a Pore. For sure. Should I keep this? YOLO. Let's lead on Ketria Triome. My 9th 1-drop. How do I win this game? The game of this deck? Well, you just storm off and cast a wish for a win con. This list has an Aetherflux Reservoir, could be Thassa's Oracle. Really the same thing. Really the same thing. Oh, is that a mirror? Seems like it. It kinda works, but also not really, as you need enough cards in your deck to bring your opponent down, so you would need to reshuffle. Level talent with new visit. Holy shit. That's funny. Still, like, you do need 7 cards in your deck, which mostly should be easy, but could be not trivial in some spots. Do I cycle the Vizier? Maybe it's better to do it next turn, right? Maybe it's just better to dig now. There is a strings in my graveyard which I would not like to ditch though. Can have multiple level talents, that's true. I guess you should be fine. Just level 2 then. Very insightful, Da Vinci. Guess having a strings in my graveyard doesn't actually matter. It's probably best to save this and cast dig, because I might benefit from extra mana next turn. Let's take Pore and stage. That way. Really worse wish target. Reasoning for not cycling Vizier. So Vizier is extra mana and I just can save it for the next turn. So next turn I'll be able to cast my Pore thanks to the fact I saved my Vizier. And cards in the graveyard, I'll be fine. Hey, that's a good draw. So that's why I kept the Vizier. I drew another one, so nothing ever mattered. I was too lucky this game to prevent myself from winning, but that's why I did that. It is nice not to have to think about the ultimatum mana. It always was extremely hard on me and I had to commit so much of my brain power to thinking it through that my win rate for sure suffered. Now in the mirror, seems like Into the Flood Maw is kind of bad, although I can bounce the talent. Have I tested the Demon's deck in Pioneer? I'll play red-black Demon's midrange tomorrow for all day. Mono-black Demons. I think it's just misguided to play that. Into the Flood Maw, bouncing the talent seems not good to me when I think about it more. Let's maybe have one. Mono black demons. Keep on the draw, so probably die. Its opponent. Do you mean that Into the Flood Maw is an opponent controls? I know. Do you think I want to bounce my own talent for no reason? Say Boseiju. Seems close. I've seen the Madness Brute Scale deck in Modern. Very briefly. I only know that it has Brute Scale and the Vampire Blood Chief's sword. No, I wanted to destroy their artist talent with my... well, bounce with my bounce spell. Is it reasonable to Boseiju it? It's pretty rough. There's just a single Ketria Triome and an island to get off of Boseiju in this deck. If I get a stage myself. Let's click on it. They'll get extra mana, so they probably will win because now they're faster and they on the play and they have extra mana and all of that, but such is life sometimes. Bala get on artist talent. It's a bit wild, but interesting. Into the Flood Maw. So let me bounce the talent. at the cost of not playing my Lotus Field out, instead scrying for a Spirebluff. Stinky. Then once I untap, I play a Lotus Field. Maybe it's not too bad compared to my other line, which is to play scrying for stage, Lotus Field, sacrifice 2 lands. Next I have 3 mana. I play Lotus Field. I can cast Pore and then lost my train of thought because of a chat troll. So I'll go get the Spirebluff and bounce the Artist Talent. Like them returning Artist Talent probably tells us that their hand isn't great, because if it was great then they would have done something different. If they want to play in Talent, maybe they just want to go Talent and leveled up to set up for the next turn. It's kind of sounds like it. If your hand was insane, you'd probably just save your Bala. Maybe you'll still play it. Hand is not insane. Villain begins with Vizier of Tumbling Suns, understandably ignoring my claims about the contents of their hand. Suspected contents of their hand. Now I level. Sleet. Here, have a fish. Not the most powerful bounce, but we'll see. Next turn, the Pore. We have to believe in it. Cast strings. Not a good sign. Cast talent and I guess passes. Alright, so we get our chance at going off chat. Lotus Field. Sacrifice. Don't love my odds, but... Oh-ho. What now? Is it Cycle Vizier or maybe it's Play Vizier? Holy shit, 1 viewer count rate by Spinoza 13. It's fucked up. If I play the Vizier, next turn I have 7 mana, so I can... 8 mana. Can wish.com. Not quite wish.com for Lier. But seems hard to combo of this turn. Let's play the Vizier with Dispute, protect myself from death idly, and that should be good. No Dispute to wish for. Wishing for Dispute is pretty weak. Although you probably understand that and it's a jokey message. But we can wish for Sleight of Hand. If it comes to that, is actually something we could do. Red. Nope. Blue. Wish.com with 2 blue mana up. Is this song in English? DJ Bad Boy Friday Night. I think it is. Wish.com on my Vizier. Really? Am I supposed to dispute that? I guess. So they have a dispute too, which... Of course they have the wish dispute. Well, if they... It's not clear that they have the wish dispute. It's also not clear if they cast a spell with wish or from their hand. as the game doesn't tell you so. And I didn't quite note their hand size when they were casting Wish, which I should have done. But it makes sense for a Dispute to be in the main deck and not in the sideboard. So they played a Wish for Into the Flood Maw. That's probably what happened. And that said, opponent taps out and gives me another opportunity to win. So now I'll cycle. 6 mana. Wish. Wish for not much. If I play Talent, that costs me 2 mana. 2 mana. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I probably should consider and find a Pore. Because I think otherwise it's gonna be too hard. Lier is kind of almost getting there. Except that he's not Pore. Let's go. Fail. So there is always a chance that my opponent will fail to combo off. Although at this point, I doubt it. I kind of doubt it. Talent level 2. Either a good sign or a bad sign. Bad sign. Discards Bala get recovery. Alright, if they discard Bala get recovery, I give them the benefit of the doubt that they will get there. As Bala get is at worst another Pore. And let's move on to game 3. Submit. Hand looks like a keep. If not super great, I'm still on the play in the mirror and I go Talent into Scrying. Missing turn 1, so that's a bit bad, but Boseiju who endures. Be my guest. A Scrying. Discard a Confluenza. And let's set up a Lotus Field. Could play Consider to get value from the talent still, but that seems unimportant. How many fast lands are good to play in Lotus decks? Many. Lotus Field destroys your land, so fast lands are on even later into the game, right? So this is the grenade. Run 7. But yeah. Wish with 3 mana. Doesn't do anything. 12 fast lands. Well, Copaline George and Consider is kind of a non-ball. Wish can't do anything. Lier. Oki. It's a very big card to wish for. There's Ketria Triome cycle. Alright, so I'll stage. Untap. Untap. I could iteration to copy the opt. So it would be 3 opts. So the War of the Mana. Oops. Almost on top Lier. So I go to 9 mana, wish, 6 mana. Could also just simply wish for a slide. That's probably better, even if less value. The mana is somewhat valuable too. Artist's Talent, let's keep it. And now I should be good. Yeah, with the dig I'm pretty good. To scry. I mean, it's unlikely I whiff, but those were not exactly the best hits. How do you win? You just wish up a win condition and win, chat. You say, I wish I would have won, and then you win. Fort Sizer. Thankfully I have 2 Sylvan Scrying, so no big issue. Takes my talent, understandable. Hello from Marseille, France. Hello, Spinoza. Played of the Oni. Opponent just played a free one. Crazy. Equipment Demon. Grab Boseiju. I Field of Ruin. Unholy Annex. We're getting an X, chat. Thankfully they did not sorcery speed use their Field of Ruin on my Thespian stage, which would have been not so disruptive anyways. And I don't think they'll deal 13 damage to me. They'll need to add extra 8, and even if they play Bloodletter of Alcatraz, that's adding 6. Takes my Lier. Takes my dig through time, bro. That said, the Boseiju can actually make a difference. So don't worry. I do not worry at all. I worry now. But I'll Boseiju the Blade of the Oni. What would be scary would be Joldred, perhaps. Demon has entered the battlefield. Having extra mana might be somewhat useful. God, we need to draw something, chat. Ha, my last card is a Botanical Sanctum, so it's useless. But, you know, Tartist Talent doesn't really help now. That said, you need to add something that actually kills me. Or I'll keep living. Okay. That doesn't. Artist Talent. No i super, kurwa. Well, I meant 13 damage in one turn. They took a few extra turns on top of that, which made it possible. Each player discards. So if they have a demon, they're gonna kill me. Let's see. No demon. Lol. Alright, consider. Find me Pore. Pore over the pages. I'm due for one. Wish.com. Have 9 mana. Assuming they have removal for Lier. It's kind of crazy how there is nothing to wish for in this deck. 9 mana. Lier. Dig is an instant. So I spent 7 on Lier. No, then I don't have the mana to do anything. I wish there was a Pore in the sideboard, yeah. Some card draw spell has to be in the sideboard. Because I have to bin the wish now. No i przegraliśmy. Because I'll spend 2, 7, 9. I mean, it seems like a little bit of a hard sell. A dig in the sideboard, that makes sense, yeah. Having a dig in this spot would probably win too. Just something. I think I've seen a list with some like stupid draw X. Finally of the blue one, Relevation. The hidden strings do not cost 1 mana. They do, but I didn't have any in my graveyard. Yeah, I used your Lotus list and I deeply regret it right now. So I'm not quite sure of like the strategies involving the sideboard Thespian stage, Otawara and Boseiju, neither. So this is a bit challenging for me, but Into the Flood Maw looks really bad. They have Dumpling Sphere or whatnot. Let's have the extra Boseiju and Otawara. It seems kinda better to have lands than stuff like that. I could bring Iteration as it is a flashback spell. So it's okay against Fossies in that sense. Let's do that then and submit. Would I prefer CDC in the sideboard? CDC in the sideboard, bro. Sounds great. Hand looking good. CDC in the sideboard is a reference to a piece of tech that the Manland MTGO chat user ran at the PT murders at Karlov Manor, and he had some elaborate reasoning for it, which I can't remember at the very moment, but he basically wanted to have 2 tutors for ultimatum, I think, maybe not, or to like be able to tutor up a spell with, I don't know, it was probably something more sane than that. but I can't remember what exactly. But you know, sometimes you just have a matchup and you think to yourself, damn, my deck could really use a CDC right now. It would be really nice to have a CDC available for this specific matchup. Well, the land is not good. But I'm happy to have found a second land. That's not Lotus Field and not Thespian stage, so I can copy my Lotus Field this game. Dig is a good draw. How do we beat the 8 staples of Pioneer for push for Thoughtseize? Simply by top decking Dig through time. Let's take Galvanic Iteration to have a card that's gonna work even if they discard spell me again. And the talent, but maybe a cantrip is better. Bronco. It's a Field of Ruin deck, so copy. Copy that. Unstoppable Slasher. Slasher? I barely knew her. I would not dare to try to stop the Unstoppable Slasher indeed. It's in the name. I think we're winning. I think we are well above 97% odds now. Wow, freelance with a Pore. Seems like opponent had enough. But I still hadn't found my wish outcome. Curious. So I don't get the Thespian stage in the sideboard at all. I guess against control you would want Thespian stage a bit more often to copy your Lotus Field to get the mana advantage. When you just have time to sit around and fuck around. Wait. It would be nice to have Dig to sideboard in. I guess if I boarded in my Dig, I would once again complain about wish.com being weak. Maybe I won't. Like, they have 8 discards. The Galvanic Iteration seems kind of nice. I think Dumping Sphere is not popular. They brought in Bronchosaurus, which is a signal that, yeah, now this hand boarding in Bronchosaurus means that they, I guess, don't have that much to bring in. Not necessarily, I guess it does not necessarily signal that. Well, you have 2 iterations in hand, so if my opponent ever tries to duress me, they are in for a Worry about time. Oh, take 8. Unstoppable slasher. I guess there's a chance they will just kill me next turn, so there's not really that grindy of a matchup necessarily. I boarded out all of my ways to interact with the unstoppable slasher. So I am scared now. Maybe I should just play Vizier to have a blocker if they play the Alcatraz Monster Man. Let's do that. Also seems good overall. Next turn. Punished. Bro, flip the duress. Two slides. Talent. Stage. I want extra mana. They did flip the duress, so it's gonna be gone. Seems rough. I would have needed to speed myself up somehow this game. Is it possible that this is a...
He's a phenomenal control player.
An artist is a person engaged in an activity related to creating art, practicing the arts, or demonstrating an art. The most common usage, in both everyday speech and academic discourse, refers to a practitioner in the visual arts only.
Because this game I kind of needed a growth spiral to catch up. Saddled, I guess. Flipped a Bloodletter of Alcatraz and killed me. Turn 5 Goldfish, and I was like not fast enough to do this, and I didn't really have anything. I guess I boarded out my bounce spells, but they look really bad into a discard spell deck. Let's mulligan this unkeepable hand, and let's keep this keepable hand. It says my opponent has been seen 1 day ago playing Mana Confluence. I guess the discard spell deck incentivized me to not put back a Sylvan Scrying, so I'll keep them both. So we are hashtag hard testing for for that purpose. Pore. Interesting decision. It might be kind of slow to keep the Pore, but I thought I kind of need something to start going off once I start going off. Oh, do I prefer well-established formats versus new formats? I think I like well-established ones. I see my strength being playing a deck that I learned well. So I think I'm kind of worse in trying to think of strategies than tuning them. That's my belief, at least. Like, I kind of think that's the case. No, double Thoughtseize on my Scryings. That's giga rude. Just insta takes the Scrying with the first one. Yeah, but I drew a Lotus Field, so no problem. Let's consider discarding the Spirebluff. Let's slide, not discarding anything. Wish.com. It was better to Spirebluff and level talent this turn. Possibly. Seems like there is no turn 5 for this game. Though. If I Spirebluffed and Artist Talented, then I'm better off if I draw... strings. Holy shit, this thing is kinda slow. Like, I guess I died because of my Mana Confluence damage too. But this deck is just kind of slow. Feels like really am I supposed to have the Into the Flood Maw to try to interact? Is that the fate that I have to... I mean, it's not such a bad fate. I'll just have the Time Walks, I guess. Bounce Greasefang and not lose. And I'll submit, there is not much else to board. Anger, Chandra's defeat, not really into any of those. There is also Boseiju and Otawara, which I don't know what to do with. Could cut an island for Otawara, I guess. It's probably just straight up better to have island than Otawara. A hand like this. Can't play the talent. Otawara, Boseiju both good here, right? But over what? More Sleets? Let's say I keep this. Maybe I should have clicked the mulligan button, but... but I didn't. And it's pretty bad, I guess. I get Duress and Villain takes my impulse, then I have nothing. I can't Bala get the impulse though. FOMO of missing out. Discarding Parhelion, so... FOMO is pretty good for this deck. It gives you an out to actually have a turn 3 not draw. Bro, stop seizing my thoughts. Seems like no Greasefang in their hand. Could cast a Vizier, but it does not accomplish anything. So this deck is not running Archdruid's Charm either. Which is fine and irregular. Lotus Field deck, but also not really earth-shatteringly great. Lotus Field. The talent enchantments seem bad in the deck. Well, had I cast it, had I had the mana to cast it, it would actually look great, so... I don't think I agree, but it didn't look as great as I expected them. Aren't they very slow? No, it costs 2 mana to play. You play it on turn 2 and then you keep doing stuff. I think they are not, in fact, all that slow. Is there a chance Greasefang has some talent removal? They've been passing all the time. Vanishing verse or something like that. Could be punishing if I actually end up vanished. Let's see. 2 vanishing verse, good seal. So maybe I just cast a Pore first, which loses me mana. But like, they haven't been playing anything, they pretty clearly... I think they almost assuredly have it. I have 2 interactions, I can just pass. If they don't have it, then... Seems like you didn't. Cathar Commando. It was also clear that they were F6, so could have used that knowledge, but... From 1 to 10, with 1 being the least enjoyable, how much do I enjoy Pioneer? 6. 6 is good. Maybe 7. 7 is good, yeah. I enjoy Pioneer 7. Is good. Wait. This one. 3 mana Pore. Is artist talent any good? Any good? Yes. Exploration effect. I was talking about Growth Spiral earlier. There's no actual exploration. That would be, in fact, a pretty strong effect in the format of Pioneer. Is talent worth it versus just stack Lotus? Like, for the most part, it seems capable of comboing off pretty similarly, and you get to run cantrips over a package of 7 cards. 7 win con cards. So that's kinda neat. If they Fotsis me, I just die. If they don't Fotsis me, I likely still die. Let's move. Let's put back Flood Maw. So they can Fotsis it and turn 3 Greasefang me. By going turn 2 FOMO into Greasefang. Nice draw. Discards Parhelion 2. Holy shit, bro. How am I supposed to play now? How am I supposed to play the game? So bouncing the Greasefang doesn't really accomplish anything because they just play it again because it is a bounce spell after all. I take 2. Then I take 2 plus 13. So it does kinda accomplish something because it's only 13 damage. I can also bounce the Parhelion after they crew it. So that accomplishes it. Let's be a coward. Holy shit, bro, got me good. Hairs. So here's the thing. Well, if they didn't have it, then I have time to not die. Loran. Kurwa, ale gówno mi chłop tutaj zagrywa. You could also do the thing with where you just cyborg satyrs or something in this deck to be faster. Kutzer's flanker, oh no. Adding red to your Greasefang deck makes you play many worse cards possible, it seems. Whoa. 2 attacks. With Vigilance, that's sick. That's why they play Loran. Vigilance. You should play Vigilance creatures with fear of missing out. That's just it. I should have bounced that sorcery speed. Aye, that was a very weak play. Whoops. That was really weak. Did I see the Battle of Wits list at top 8 in RCQ yesterday? I did not. Neither do I really wish to see it. I don't care. I'm... Kroxa. Not hugely interested in... Battle of Wits, frankly. Kroxa Greasefang. So you Overlord your Kroxa. Sounds pretty good. That said, we need to draw a banger. Basically a Pore. I died. So I went 2-3 only, which is good because I swore off playing combo decks anyway, so I wouldn't want to be playing this deck at the RC either way. Probably some of the matches were winnable, but the mono black one I just got raised. I cast some cantrips. I found Lotus Field sometimes. I failed to find it some other times. Keeping up interaction against Greasefang match 3 was very costly. I didn't have the time to do it comfortably. Which was pretty awkward. It seems like Phoenix will be my front runner still. Tomorrow I will play with the demons deck though. Track those demons.